Woodbury, Town of Woodbury, board meeting of February 16th, 2023. I'd like everyone to please stand for the pledge of allegiance and a moment of silence.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Alright, first on the agenda tonight is we have a public hearing, introduction to local law 1 of 2023, volunteer firefighter and ambulance exemption. Desiree, could you read the public notice?
Certainly. A public hearing is being held entertaining public comments on introductory local law 1 of 2023 entitled Taxation, Volunteer Fire Departments and Volunteer Ambulance Service Exemptions pursuant to Section 466A of the New York State Real Property Tax Law. Public notice was printed in the Times Herald Record on February 9th, 2023.
Okay, just to add, since the deadline to submit the applications for exemptions is March 1st, the county has not set up the exemption for this assessment program as of yet. This will be effective for March 1st, 2024 filing deadline, so the 2025 property taxes. Does anyone have from the public have any comments regarding this introductory to local law? All right, with no further comments, can I have a motion to second to close the public hearing?
Make a motion?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. And now can I have a motion and a second to prepare a resolution with which adopts a local law?
Make a motion? I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? All right, I'm gonna need Desiree, could you please do a roll call?
Yes. Supervisor Burke,
Yes.
Councilman Corey,
Yes.
Councilman Essel,
Yes.
Councilman Finnegan,
I abstained.
Councilwoman Luciano. Aye.
Okay, thank you. I'll move on to public comment. Does anyone have any comments to make on the agenda items?
Mr. Supervisor, are we going to adopt the local law, or you're asking to prepare a resolution to adopt the law for a future date?
To prepare the resolution, we're gonna adopt a local law to go into effect for 2020.
They are adopting the resolution that we always adopt for the local law that requires me to send it to the Secretary of State, printed in.
That's,
Yeah.
so that's what they just did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good?
Yep.
Thank you. Any public comment on agenda items? Okay, thank you. Administrative business, acceptance of the minutes. Can I have a motion and a second to accept the receipt of the minutes of the meeting held on February 2nd, 2023?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next is the approval of the abstract. Desiree, could you please read abstract number 4?
Sure, it contains vouchers 230208 to 230303, voiding voucher 230249, check number 26889, and totals $342,760.81.
Okay, can I have a motion second to approve the abstract as read?
I'll make a motion.
All right, second.
Are we gonna have a discussion about it, or?
Well, we'll have a discussion after we have a second. I have a motion from Tyler. I need a second to approve the abstract as read. Okay, I'll make the second, I'll second it. And now, is there any discussion?
Yes. There are things missing off the abstract, and I don't think that it should be approved. There's a check for the library that was voided. There are bills that were submitted from Central Valley Library that was not put through. And we were told today that, the director explained to us that invoices that were brought into the town was told not to be put through and for her to take back. So I have an issue with that, and I don't think that the abstract should go through until we go through everything and we resubmit it with the bills that are supposed to be in there.
Comments?
Just to be clear, so none of the bills that are part of this abstract you wanna pay so we could incur late fees.
Well, I think that if we pass an abstract with bills that have voids in them and that are not paying Central Valley Library, I don't think that it's appropriate. I think we need to go over and we need to fix it and put in the bills that are supposed to be there.
Wouldn't that be the same for the library's bills, that they would accrue fees or potentially lose memberships if they weren't
Absolutely, so I
approved?
just wanna make, so the accounting department knows that they have to, redo everything, I wanna make sure we're okay, so do you wanna hold this off until the March second meeting?
Well, let me just add this. Let me just respond to that. We have, in this abstract, we have the general fund, we have $108,000 worth of bills. We have general police services for over $130,000. We have for the John P. Burke Memorial Pool, over $2,500. For the library fund, we have over $14,900 approved on this abstract. For the Woodbury Commons Business Improvement District, we have over $400. And for the refuse and the garbage, we have over $85,000, which equals $342,000 approved over, $342,760.81. 2 weeks ago at the work session, there was a lot of discussion, but there was no decisions rendered at that meeting. So I held back on the Central Valley Library bills for, and then because as of that meeting, it was admitted there that we are no longer the town no longer owns the Central Valley Library. It's a Woodbury Public Library.
Shouldn't that have stayed status quo then?
So what okay,
And you weren't
Let me-
at the
I
work
just want-
session, so I don't understand how you could,
but
rule into void a check that we have to pay from.
all right,
the facility.
if you guys could just refrain for a second, let me finish my comments, and then you guys can add it after that. I wasn't at that meeting, no I wasn't, because 2 weeks prior to that, when the meeting was set up for 7:30, it was changed to 5 o'clock. Everyone that was able to make it was able to, I was not able to make it at the last minute to change it to 5 o'clock. But anybody who was not at that meeting was able to look at that on video, on tape. So if you weren't there, you could still listen in to the meeting after. So even though I wasn't there, like you said, I wasn't there, I could watch it later on and listen to everything that was said.
Was
So
there,
so let me just say that what I said, what I'm saying is that was the Central Valley Library. I did not have, at that time, feel that, at that time, when I was looking at it, there was no clear, for me, it was not clear for me to sign the bills, because we do not own it any longer as a town. I spoke to our attorney, and I had a lengthy discussion with him, and the bills will be paid. Is that what we were gonna do moving forward? Does everyone agree with that?
I think that discussion should have happened prior to voting on said abstract. I don't recall a video where we had a say in if that was to be the case. It was talked about and said status quo.
Yes.
If the bill's not getting paid, well, now they're late fees, whose fault would that have been?
And for our director to come to the town hall yesterday and be told that, by you, that these invoices are not supposed to be paid, is not making it status quo. So what you just said, that you had a conversation with the attorney about going
Yes.
forward and paying the bills, well, that's not the case.
No, I
You
did.
chose
I
not to
did have-
pay for things that the library brought up.
So you're saying that I did not have a discussion with the attorney to?
You might have had a discussion with the attorney, but you didn't have a discussion.
No,
with the other-
I'm just asking,
Four
Kate, you're
board
saying, you
members.
just said I did not have a discussion with our
I'm
attorney.
just saying,
No,
when-
did you say I did not have a discussion with the attorney?
When
say
did you
pay the
have a
bill?
discussion with the attorney?
I had a discussion with the attorney 2 days ago.
Okay, so if you had a discussion with him 2 days ago and the director went yesterday to have these bills paid and you told her she couldn't have them paid and for her to take the invoices and bring them back, you clearly didn't listen to what your attorney told you to do.
Because I did not have a discussion with the library director.
Well, you had a discussion with the attorney and you
I
said that
did
the
not,
attorney
but
told you to pay the bills.
Yeah, yes, and I did not, and you said I had a discussion with the library director. I did not.
Well,
So I did not have a discussion with the library director.
well, if you had.
Did you have a discussion with the library
I
director?
absolutely did.
Okay, I did not. I had a discussion with our attorney. So, that's where we're at now. But I said to you, I spoke to the attorney that we're going to pay these bills for the Central Valley Library, right? Is that what this town board wants us to do?
My
We
only
as a
question
town board.
before we get to that is if you had a discussion with Joe when?
2 days
2
ago.
days ago?
Yes.
The abstract today, why weren't those bills put on this abstract?
I did not put them on, like I said, because I felt that we should have a discussion here, and I wanted to ask the board the clear direction from every single person on the board here.
Well, that's fine,
That
but
it's a
we would've
Central
had that
Valley-
discussion tonight, and that
That's what-
abstract is now hung up, not for the fault of us asking this
Yes.
question, because you did not put that
Yes.
on there.
Yes, it's hung up. But now at the meeting, we're all here at the meeting.
But now it's
we
too late,
decide.
now bills are either gonna get held off as a whole, or the library's bills aren't gonna get paid because you made the decision.
And you made a
not us.
decision on your own without asking anybody on the board. And now we have a director from the library that's concerned that her employees are not gonna be paid. We still have not put the deposits in since the last meeting that we spoke, that you said you would put the deposits in, and you're not paying vouchers to a library.
So, where did it come out that the library employees were not gonna get paid? Where does that come from?
It's a fear.
That is their concern, because other bills are not being paid and deposits aren't being
They get paid weekly.
paid. Okay, but back to
But,
that, just to
but
circle
I'm
back
saying,
real quick
just to
to.
say that, you're saying that they didn't get paid.
No, no,
No, we
Employees.
didn't say that, I
I-
said that's their fear.
You didn't,
I said
but-
that's their fear.
no, you said that,
Well, I then I retract that,
okay.
and I'm gonna say that their fear is next, that their employees will not be paid. Cause you're making decisions on your own without talking to anybody on the board, without discussing this.
I did not make a decision to go and look at and change the way it's been for over 60 years, right?
But we're talking
When
about the
you
abstract.
start- Now we're talking about the abstract.
We're only
No,
talking
we were
about
just
the
we were just talking about salaries.
That-
Now,
that-
on payroll, that
That's
wasn't on the
fear.
abstract.
Okay, back to the abstract,
Okay.
which
We're
I
going
don't think
back.
I clarified. 2 days ago, you were told, pay the bills.
Mhm.
The abstract is today, on Thursday. That's 2 full working days to put the bills on this abstract.
Correct. And like I
Why aren't they
said,
on the abstract?
because it's not for a town-owned building.
But you were told 2
So,
days ago to pay the bills.
I understand that, but now I'm gonna get clear understanding, and we're gonna talk about it, each one of us gonna have a say, like you asked, for everyone to have a say.
But now it's too
So-
late, the bills can't be paid.
Oh,
The abstract is getting voted
Correct.
on right now, right here.
correct.
2 days ago, you were advised to pay the
Correct.
bills.
And I paid all the bills, like I said, over $342,000, except for the bills for the Central Valley Library.
Your office has been in receipt of these bills? Or are they
Yes.
back at the library? So 2 days ago, you were told to pay them. That
Okay.
day, yesterday, and today, they weren't put on the abstract. And now it's
Correct.
almost like we're supposed to feel bad that we're not passing the abstract because they're not on it. I don't feel bad, that seems like that was not my decision.
Okay, that's not, my decision right now is to ask the board, that's why we're here tonight with it, so we're all here to say that we're going to agree to pay for the bills right now for the Woodbury Library. That is not a town-owned building, moving forward.
And the director was told yesterday, when she came in by the women in the office.
Oh, now it's the women, okay, so it wasn't me, it was the women.
No,
Okay,
and then
thank
I
you.
spoke with them, and they told me they were directed by you. And I walked into the office yesterday, and I heard you talking with
The
them.
ladies that work in the supervisor's office, who do they take directions from?
Yeah, and by me, on the supervisor,
So if
yes,
that, if
yes,
they're
I'm the
giving
town
a clear and
supervisor.
concise answer on why they're not allowed to do something.
Which is why the employees of the Central Valley, the library, get paid every week.
Okay,
And they haven't stopped being paid,
but their bills don't.
because they get paid, I just approved over 14,000.
For which library?
Library. For the library, for the Highland Mills Library,
We're talking-
town-owned building.
Okay, that's irrelevant, there's
Okay,
a town
no,
service.
that's what I'm just saying, so what I'm saying to you, now that you wanna, I'm gonna wanna cut you off, go ahead. That's what
There's
you
a
wanna
town
say.
service provided in that building,
Mhm.
correct? Have we been paying the, like you said, for the last 60 years, have we been paying those bills?
Yes,
Why would we stop now until the board decides otherwise?
because it's now, they have announced that they are now it's now a town-owned building, like I said. Right, as of January
Is it a
17th,
town-owned building or is it
not a town-owned building, as of
Okay.
January 17th.
a town service is provided there?
As of right now, they're still, yes.
Okay. I don't recall being asked if we should not pay their bills or what was going on. So the status quo
No,
comment,
we weren't asked if but we did have a work session, right? We did have a work session
We
2
did.
weeks ago to discuss some of those topics of what we were gonna do moving forward.
Mhm.
No decisions were made.
so that would make
So-
the status quo.
To you it was.
No, no,
To, yes,
And
okay.
that's what we
That's
stated
what
in
you
the
did.
work
To
session.
me, I am here tonight, right, with these approved, now with the Central Valley Library. So,
I'm just confused on how you got there.
I just explained.
That,
That's,
well,
I
then
just
elaborate
explained it.
for me.
I just explained it to you, what I said.
If we decided last time that it was gonna stay the same, and it was gonna be status quo, and we've been paying their bills for 60 years, what would make this abstract different?
This is now, like I said, I just explained it to you. I just explained that at the meeting, at the work session, 2 weeks
Understand, I'm
ago,
aware.
right? You were there. There was, these were one of the many topics that were discussed. No decision was made. So now, I spoke to the attorney. I said, now that I need clear decision to be made moving forward with this right now. We need to do certain things moving forward. But for right now that we're all here, are we going to pay the bills
Just to-
for the central, moving forward,
That's fine.
along with the Central Valley Library that is not a town-owned building?
Just to clarify, so it's on record, 2 weeks ago, we had a work session. Nothing was decided, we were keeping it status quo.
We
10
didn't
days
even
passed.
decide to keep it status quo, by the way.
I think
If no
we-
decision was made,
I think between the
Because
three
the
board members.
employees were deemed not town employees any longer, and they had to negotiate the contract under their own.
if nothing was negotiated, it's
Ask
still.
Brandon, we talked about you getting them another union.
But I
For-
talked with the
for
county
20
today.
minutes.
I talked with the county today, and they are still town employees.
Well, two
Slow
seconds, Kate,
down.
can I just finish that comment? 14 days ago, we had a meeting, a work session. Things weren't decided, nothing was changing. We waited 10 days to make a decision to talk to the lawyer to see if we should continue paying the bills. He told you yes. 16 hours of working hours passed, it still isn't on the abstract, and now tonight, it's not on there, and we're supposed to not pay bills because we can't pay library bills. And nothing was decided that they weren't town employees. Who cut their check? Who cut their check this week? The town?
They have always gotten paid every week.
So then how are they not town employees?
They are not,
Exactly.
not town employees. As of January 17th, they are not town employees.
They're not town employees.
No.
Okay.
According
So
to-
as of this week, that's a good question itself, but as of this week, they're not town employees.
They're not. So what I'm saying.
Were they notified that we're not paying their bills, we're not doing their payroll, their medicals, or anything else? Cause I wasn't.
Okay. Like I said to you before, and like I was saying, 2 weeks ago, those were some of the many topics, which is why the work session was scheduled, okay? That was not discussed, or there was no decision made on.
If there was no decision made, I'm very
Correct, but
confused on
you're
how a
right.
decision was made without me knowing that.
Okay. There is, the bills were paid, like I said, for the library, for the town-owned building. So now,
That's a different story.
I said that, no, I agree with you, but now they have been paid, the employees have been paid. They are paid every week. They have insurance, there's
That-
2 of the employees that have insurance.
So if they're not
Still,
town employees.
They have,
we're
you know
paying
what, Tim, they also, the Central Valley Library,
You shouldn't.
it also has insurance, it's also insured by the town.
It
It's
is.
not a town-owned building, we're still insuring it.
Town employees are in there.
Right, no, they're
No,
not
not
town
town
employees.
They are town employees. Call the county and find out for yourself. They're town
Joe,
employees.
can we get a legal,
If they're not town employees, why are we paying their bills?
Okay, this is,
Hold
that question that was just asked by Tim. I don't wanna put anybody on the spot here like that. I'm not about that. We just, if they're not town employees, why are we still paying them? That is something that we have to take on further, meetings. We have to schedule more meetings, work sessions in 2 weeks with the library trustees and the board and their attorney, and we will schedule that to move, so we can move along with what the process is and what's going on.
I can wholeheartedly
But
agree with that.
before Joe says anything, when he's done, I just wanna know from the board, all of us, moving forward, we're gonna continue to pay for the Central Valley Library, that's not a town-owned building, and the bills until we come to a conclusion.
And how about the maintenance? Because I was told that, the director, Sarah Johnson, called Joey today and was told that they're not allowed to do any maintenance on the building anymore. So why are all these decisions being made without the board, any of it being discussed
you're
with any
saying that-
members on the board?
So you're saying that there's maintenance on a building in town that's not town-owned, and that the workers that work for the town are not going there to do any work? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying, how are these decisions being
I'm
made
not,
without
no,
anybody
you
else
made
on the
that,
board
no, you're saying,
discussing
I'm
it?
asking you, I'm asking again, I'm gonna ask the question. That is the Central Valley Library now, it's not a town-owned building.
Okay, so,
You're asking why the workers, and who told the workers not to go to work there?
Mhm. I'm asking, so this building for the past 40 years has been under the town, has been insured under
Correct.
the town, has had town employees doing maintenance on the building for the past 40 years. And now all of a sudden, just because Sarah calls for the list and calls the county to find out if she can get the list to hire people because their library is short-staffed, the rug is being pulled out, their bills are not being paid, they're not getting maintenance.
No,
on the
okay, we're
So-
just talking
So I'm
this,
just
you
asking,
just changed,
who's
wait a minute.
making these
You
decisions?
just changed, you just went from the rugs getting pulled out,
Well, we're
the bills,
picking
and now
and
you're
choosing what we're
talking
doing.
about, right, no, now you're saying that someone told them not to go to work there. I think that you should, maybe you should find out who told them not
I
to
know
go
who
there.
told them,
Who?
you,
Wrong again.
I know.
Well,
You're
I'm
on
just
a,
curious
you're on a
how-
roll with your statements
Well,
because.
Joey's here, we can ask Joey who
You
he told
could, if you
Sarah.
wanted, if you wanted to do that, you could bring somebody else in, or you could find out for yourself, right? You could look around and talk to people and say, hey, are you guys union employees? Yeah. Okay, is that a union, is that a town building? And you work for the town of Woodbury? Yeah, is that a town building? No. Maybe they're looking to find out. Maybe you should find out.
So
Before you
what-
find out, before you come out in the meeting and publicly accuse someone of telling somebody what they can and can't do or what they should or shouldn't do, just get the facts right.
Well, I could definitely say for a fact that all these things that were said, me as a town councilman have not been asked my opinion on, which I'm confused on how we're making decisions as a town board. And 3, for sure, town board members don't know about what's happening until we're getting phone calls from John Q. Public. And I am answering that
For, in regards to what?
in regards to their deposits being deposited, their bills being paid. It's not on the abstract tonight, you were telling me 2 days ago you were instructed to pay them?
Correct.
Okay, so why wasn't it put on the
Because
abstract?
it's not, I
tonight?
told you, that it's 14, oh, again,
No,
it's
no, I'm
14,
talking
right?
specifically about the Central
Central
Valley.
Valley Library, because it's not a town-owned
You told me
building.
2 days ago.
So I said, you was talk, right, now I'm here at the board meeting tonight, and I'm asking each individual board member for the town, for the building in Central Valley that's not town-owned. Are we going to pay the bills moving forward until this is resolved? Are we paying the bills for the Central Valley Library that's not a town-owned building?
Well, if it was on the abstract, we could take it off the abstract tonight, but we can't
But
put
it's
it on
not.
right now.
Do you want to pay those bills?
This
Yes.
library,
Well, no.
I'm just saying, this
Just
library.
the same thing, so 2 weeks ago, we sat in the back and, with the deposits, and you were instructed by our attorney to put the
Correct.
deposits in the bank.
Yes, I think we said that,
And they're
yes.
still not in the bank.
Oh, in the bank. That's right, there are bills that are for the bank, right, that they give to me, and they give them to me, why?
Because you were the chief financial.
No, and for the library, I am the treasurer, right?
Right.
Okay, so, I remember when, I was also the treasurer when the library received a $25,000 grant from the Assemblyman, Colin Schmidt. I'm still not in receipt of that.
Did
I'd
that
like to
not
be
go
in
to
receipt.
OCLS?
I don't know, but I am the treasurer. I was
Well,
not made aware
This
of
is
it.
sounding tit for tat because you have.
I'm not going tit for tat, I didn't, I'm just
You weren't
telling
made
you.
aware of it, you were at the meeting,
I was
Colin
there with-
Schmidt
no, I
handed
was
him
there.
handed them the check
Correct.
and told them
We
about
took the
it,
picture,
so
we
don't
were all
tell me you
together.
were
No,
unaware
but
of it.
where is, I haven't received it, no, I did not say that. See, you put words on it, I didn't say I wasn't aware of it. I said I was there, I said there's a $25,000 check.
Are you in receipt
I'm the
of their
treasurer.
deposits? The town?
No,
You're not, they're not in your office? They're not in your
They-
office, you're not aware they're in your office?
no, they're not in the office. They're not
But
in
they
the
haven't
office.
been tried to give to you since?
Yes, they were taken back.
Why?
Because I said to them, I don't know if I can do this now that you are not town, it's not.
2 weeks ago, our lawyer advised that you should be depositing them, and they're still not in the bank.
I haven't received them since that meeting. They haven't come back and given them to me. But, again, maybe they could give me the $25,000 check also from Colin Schmidt, and I'll deposit that. It's for the library. It says it, Woodbury Public Library. That's what the check said. You and I were there. We were there. We went. You asked me to go with you. I escorted you, right? We went there. We took the picture, $25,000. We still haven't received it. For me to deposit into the bank for the library. Well, that's right.
So you're straying away from the deposits that the library gave
Am
to
I-
you, to try to
I'm
blame it
straying
on
away.
the fact that
I'm straying away.
College
I was
gave
doing,
them
since I've been doing,
check to fix
for a
the
year.
building.
Since I've been here in this position, I have deposited them. No problem, no questions asked. Now, a check like that comes, I don't get it. I don't get that.
We're
Deposit?
specifically talking about deposits, not Colin Smith's check.
Now we're talking about,
No, no,
that is a deposit though, that is a deposit.
Were
We're
you
talking
in-
about deposit, that is a
Were you in
deposit.
receipt of it?
Deposit sheet here.
Were you in receipt of that check?
No,
So you can't deposit, that's not what we're talking about. You are in receipt.
I am,
In receipt of their deposit,
I should,
correct.
but I am the treasurer, I should be in receipt, I knew it was received by them.
We're not talking.
I'm not in receipt, I'm
You
not in
can't-
receipt, they drop it
You
off.
can't deposit a check you don't have. We're talking about
They can't, until they
deposits
drop
that
it
you
off.
didn't have.
Correct. Why aren't they?
She brought it in
Who has the
in
account?
January.
You do.
We are now, today is February 16th, and the deposits are still sitting there because you have not put it into the bank.
I have not
After
seen
your
it.
attorney
Mhm.
advised you to
Our
put it into.
attorney.
Right.
Our attorney, yes. Advised you to put it into the
Right.
bank. So here we
Correct.
are,
Correct,
a month and a half later,
Correct.
and it's still not in there.
right, and a meeting was scheduled 2 weeks ago to have these and many other topics discussed. And
That you
nowhere,
decided
have
not
not
to come to.
gotten anywhere with it. So, again, before Joe speaks, am I going to put on the abstract for the next abstract, or we could put it, it can't be done now, right, for tomorrow, special?
Pass the resolution.
Well, I was gonna recommend, if you want, are so inclined, to table the abstract, maybe hold a special meeting tomorrow afternoon to give the accounting department time to enter in the additional vouchers that exist according to you guys. I don't see the vouchers, so I don't know. The accounting department can have time to put them in, and then maybe we can do a quick meeting, whether it be in person or virtual, let's say like, I don't know, 2 or 3 o'clock. And then you can just approve the abstract so all the bills can get paid, including the ones that are not included.
And
What
then
do we
moving
do
forward-
with the check that was voided by the supervisor?
How can you issue any check?
Okay,
Just like they have to issue you checks for the vouchers that were not included.
okay.
Does that work for all of you?
Brandon, does that work?
If-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you wanna do it?
Noon would be preferred.
So we're gonna,
Well, you
moving
have to give
forward,
them time to put the everything in and redo the abstracts.
Look, can I interject real quick? Couple key points here. Tommy said that there's a multitude of items that we gotta do moving forward so that they can work on their own, right? Payroll, et cetera, et
Absolutely.
cetera. In the meantime, let's not pull the carpet out from underneath them. Let's just keep it moving the way it is. Everyone loves the library. I was just there the other day picking out books with my son. And, we just keep it going, and before we know it, it'll be August. Start work on the 2024 budget, and they can then take into consideration what they need to do. We have to give them time, whether they're becoming their own district, or we're gonna, however it works out, we have to give them time to get settled. We just can't pull the carpet out from underneath them. So whether it's the right thing or the wrong thing, it's the nice thing. You gotta just work together, and this is ridiculous. All this is ridiculous.
what do you mean, Brandon, what do you mean by the new district?
Whatever you wanna do, we talked about it at the work session.
Restructure.
Restructuring.
If they feel
So-
inclined to go that route, then we still need to work with them until they decide to go that route.
You know, so it's my hope that we as a town board, the 5 of us, can offer the library, with all of the library, both branches, a seamless transition to whatever they need to do. That's my hope.
I agree, and I had spoken with our attorney today about passing a resolution to just keep the library as status quo for now. And, you know, I'm asking him and the board to help do that, because we need to make sure that they can feel comfortable that this isn't gonna happen anymore.
We wanna be informed, we wanna stay true to why we're up here. Okay, there's a lot of people that go to the library, use the library, and we were elected to do that. And I think it's important that we find some way for better communication and prosperity here in town to make this a success.
Absolutely. I mean, you know yourself, Brandon, you went to a lot of the library board meetings before you were elected.
Correct.
I mean, last year, and I showed you that they had requested and asked to, the hiring of, multiple people. The list was called multiple times. You were in receipt of all of that.
Yes, I was.
You know that,
Yep.
right? we have the work that has been done with the library, both libraries
Yep,
recently.
I understand.
You can see the work that's been done, the cooperation that we have given them as a town, whether it be this board, the previous board, the board last year, when it was just 4 of us. You can see all of that was done. And that- no, I hear what you're saying, and I heard what you said,
Yep.
and that's what I said, to move forward and give them everything they can, and support them. No one said they were closing the library. No one here went on publicly said, you know what, we wanna shut down the library, right? No one, I haven't heard anybody say that. I haven't heard anyone here say it. We haven't been in we've been in meetings, we've been in attorney-client meetings. No one here has said, hey, I think we need to close the library. No one has said that,
So what are we doing when we're not paying their bills? And then it impacts the taxpayers because now.
because they went, January 17th, we were informed that they are a Woodbury Public Library now. They are not town library. So now we had a meeting 2 weeks ago. Hold on, we had a meeting.
That's
Woodbury
not
Public
the case.
Library.
They are not town of Woodbury. It's
Joe,
a
can you
Woodbury.
answer that? Cause I believe they weren't informed that they are the Woodbury Public Library, they have the right to call for their own list. Just like the police department does, just like everybody else does,
Police department doesn't call for their list.
they don't call for their own list.
No.
Chief Watson
Chief
doesn't have the
Watson
right
is
to call for
allowed.
his own list?
No,
Desiree, didn't you tell me that Chief Watson is allowed to call for the civil service list?
before Desiree answers, because you put her in an uncomfortable situation as far as I'm concerned.
I
Because
think
you didn't take the time, again, to get the proper information. He's on the sheet because the police department, first of all, let me start over. We are a police commission. We have a police commission now in the town of Woodbury. When both yourself and Councilman Finnegan ran, that was one of the things you said, we need a police commission. It came on, we have a police commission. Is it working out? I think we all can say yes, we're glad we have the police commission. He can't call for the list. He comes to the police commission each and every time he chooses or he decides or he wants to hire someone or whatever. He comes to the police commission. After he gets the approval from the police commission, he comes to me and says, listen, we've discussed it as a police commission. Can your office call for the list? Yes. Then I call for it. After we approve it as a police commission.
Is Chief
When-
Watson eligible to call for his own list?
No, let me finish. After the list is called for the police, there is a lot of other work that is that is required for the police department. There's background checks, there's firearms, it goes on and on and on. At that point in time, he is a part of it. Because of the fact that it's police and the police department. Our other departments don't have that requirement that he does. But he doesn't just, so you make it point like, he calls for the list, just, the library can call for the list, just like the police department. That's not true.
Is he eligible to call for his list? Is he eligible to call for his list?
He's on the sheet.
So he's eligible to call for his list?
Yes, but he cannot do it because we have a police commission, you understand? We don't have a library commission.
We didn't have a police
We
commission
don't.
until last year, so
But-
before that, was,
Yes, because I just explained why. I just explained why after he calls, the list is called from the supervisor's office, there's other steps that have to take place as a police requirement.
But
That's
he is allowed to call for the civil service list. When this came up, I did ask questions,
Yeah,
and I did get informed, and
right.
I asked the town clerk, and she said the only other area is the police department,
Correct.
and that he is allowed to call for the civil service list.
Because of what I just explained.
does he normally come to us with a top 3 of that list? Or a top 1 of that list?
He has come to us since you've been on the board, right? You can only speak to that. Each and every time he wants to do a hire, he has come to,
Absolutely.
correct.
With a name?
No, he says he wants to hire somebody and then he starts looking, then it starts the process. And then when the process is done, he brings the person to us.
Alright, so I cut it off, go ahead. Just one.
I was asked who is on the list from the county. The paperwork filed with the county, which is public information, is the supervisor, Chief Watson, and Eileen Sutherland, because she's the one who actually calls for the list. Like the supervisor explained though, Kevin Watson cannot just call for the list without the police commission directing him to do so. And then he comes, and Eileen actually does the calling for the list.
So that would be the same thing as if the library board of directors asked the library director to call for their list.
So they fall under different laws, so I can't speak to that because I'm not versed in the laws that the library falls under. I can only tell you what I know based on my knowledge base.
Okay, so with that being said, before Jody speaks, so we're clear with that, everybody, so Tim will pay the bills for the Central Valley Library. Okay, Kate?
Yes, but I still would like to
Sorry.
pass a resolution, so this way it stays as is,
Ooh.
status quo for everything.
Do you
have a
resolution?
No, I'm gonna ask Joe to do it first. I would like.
Tyler, do you have anything?
Attorney, sorry.
Yeah, I think we should continue paying the bills, but I think we should put a time frame on it of 90 to 120 days that they get in the process of getting their own bank account and start paying their own. It's not that they need a whole new staff to pay the bills. There's very few checks each month that have to be paid, and they wanted autonomy, so I think that they should work towards it.
Okay,
Brandon?
I did.
Yeah, yes, but
Attorney McKay, I know you were asked a few questions and weren't able to speak.
So one of the primary issues is who the proper employer of the library personnel are. The library's attorney has taken the position that the library board employs the library employees. That's consistent with case law that I've found, which means that the town does not employ the library employees. I've had discussions with Lyman Chapman, who's the Commissioner of Personnel in Orange County. And we had discussions about who has the ability to call for the list, etc. And the county has made the determination that the library board can call for the list. That is something different though, and Kate, before you said that Langdon said that they were town employees. I think what Langdon is saying is that as far as the county is concerned, they're not changing the way that they've been interacting with the town or the library, other than allowing the library to call for the list. In my discussions with Langdon, we didn't talk about any case law or any positions that the library council had taken with respect to whether or not the employees are town employees or library employees. I believe in the end, there will be agreement that the library employees are just that, library employees, and not town employees. That's why the issue gets raised with respect to who negotiates the contract for those employees. I spoke with an attorney for the union a few times. I provided him with some preliminary research that I had done. He's aware of it, he understands. He asked me today for some additional documentation, specifically the library charter. I believe I have it. But I also asked him to bring Dan Pettigrew into the discussion so he can get directly the information that he needs. All the things that I have placed on that discussion list, the item list. I know that you had asked me this afternoon if you could just adopt a resolution to maintain everything the way that it was. And my comment to you this afternoon, which I'm going to repeat now, is I don't think it's just that simple to do a resolution. Because, yes, certain things can be maintained as a status quo. Deposits, paying the ongoing bills, those can probably be continued as they have in the past. But the devil, of course, is in the details. should the town continue to pay insurance premiums on the building? That's a significant issue. Should town personnel be performing maintenance in a non-town building? That's a significant issue, and we need to get to the bottom of that. So, we can't just in a blanket way say, well, we're gonna pay the bills, because some of them may be appropriate to pay, and some of them may not be. And then the question becomes, as Tyler suggested, we need to work this out, come to an agreement, and say, you know, within some period of time, if that's how it goes, 90 days, 120 days, sometime before budget time, as Brandon said, to come to an agreement on how we're gonna resolve all of these issues. I've been, I think, pretty clear in the issues that I think the town and the library need to resolve. And they're all on that list that I provided to the library, and those are the things that we try to have those discussions about at the last meeting. We need to do that again. We need to resolve these issues, right? Because being in this in-between is difficult for everyone. So, yes, I can prepare something. We do need, I think, a global resolution with the library, which would mean, you know, going over the issues on the list again, having another meeting, starting a draft of either a lengthy resolution or a memorandum of agreement. And so far, we haven't had a lot of luck with the memorandums of agreement, but I'm willing to try. So, I am agreeing with you that, yes, we can go forward to create a document, whether it's called a resolution or an agreement, however we do that. But we need to take a lot of these issues one at a time, because it wouldn't be correct, I think, to just say, leave everything status quo. I think we need to look at the bills that are at issue, and I just don't see the bills, so I don't know, I can't really speak to that. But we need to, again, the devil's in the details, we need to look at the details and proceed that way.
Thanks.
Would it be wrong to say then for the next, I don't know, 60 days until we can hammer this down, that we continue paying whatever bills we were paying, and then we'll have a meeting with the library to figure out what
What I was gonna say,
short-term goals we have.
Kim, I was gonna say is we're gonna, the next two meetings in March, I will, we'll have I'll have it sent to the library trustees, the board, to see if we can have schedule a work session, so we can start having these, on a regular basis, because we're gonna need them. There's so many issues that have to be discussed. And we'll have, work sessions here, like you did, when I wasn't here last month, 2 weeks ago. And, we'll give them times, and we'll get it, this way we have, everybody has a plain notice to set the time and the date. It'll be 2 meeting nights, whether it be 5 or 7 or 6, whatever we choose, whatever it works. And, we'll have, the work sessions here again, and we'll start moving forward, hopefully.
And at the.
Can I ask you a quick question? You know,
Just I do think it would be appropriate, I know I just made a distinction about the bills, right? But since the town is in possession of the library's money, you know, I think 30 days, or maybe 60 days to continue to take in the receipts, make deposits, and pay the bills would maintain the status quo for some people for a short period of time, until we can look at all the individual items. So that might be something that the board might want to agree to, or even if it's 30 days.
Joe, I think we gotta make it either 90 or 120 days, 'cause
I just meant as like a stop, I meant like a stopgap.
well,
If you were gonna do it,
just,
I meant if you were gonna do it verbally, that's what I would suggest, and then we need a broader discussion to try to resolve
it's
all
nothing
these
gets
issues.
done in government in 30 days.
Can I ask a quick question? And I don't know if this is a silly question or what, but I'm gonna ask it anyway, because I'm trying to learn here. Let's just say the insurance for the library is $1,000 a month. I'm just gonna use some random numbers here, okay? They currently have their budget, $636,000, whatever it may be, okay? And the town's been handling their payroll, the insurance, et cetera, et cetera. So now, they're gonna need a larger budget to subsidize for what we're no longer doing for them. So, are we saving the taxpayers money by doing this? I don't know. But when the library needs a larger budget to pick up the services that we're no longer offering, does that make any sense?
I mean, it's coming out of our,
I know the answer, but.
it's coming out of our
I
line.
don't know. It sounds like it's six of one, half dozen of the other, so, that's my question, I don't know.
It's all coming out of the same, I mean,
It's all coming
it's
out.
all coming out of the same pot, but it does have to be redirected. I mean, you can't have non-town employees, you know,
I get
it
it.
has to be,
I
it has to be
understand where you're
separated
coming
out. I mean, for the
Yeah.
short time being,
But-
my information, it's fine, but it has to be worked towards this resolution of what, you know, they,
Is that something
it
you
has
should
to
say
be-
then till the next budget? This needs to be cleared up for the next budget.
Well, that's an awful long time.
Well, in the interim, they're gonna be using money that they didn't allot for.
Well,
They haven't budgeted for their insurance, they haven't budgeted, when they came before the previous town board, before I came on, they did not budget to have their own payroll software, whether it's gonna be expensive or not, they did not budget to have their own
Maintenance and all
insurance,
that.
their own maintenance, a cleaning company, unless they're doing it themselves. This is stuff that they didn't budget for, because the town's been doing it for them for 40 years. So whether it's the money from there or the money from there, it's still coming out of here. So I don't understand, it's still the same pot. I just think that we need to give them enough time to get everything solidified and,
Brandon, we're gonna
have the work session.
that's why we're gonna
Thank you.
schedule the work session.
Thank you.
As far as what you're saying about the budget and everything like that, I would recommend that we take another look at their budget that they presented for us, that was approved for the 2023 budget.
Okay,
If you read line by line, you'll see, you get a better understanding.
Okay, thank you.
Right?
I just have to say, I agree with what Brandon said, because that's what we talked about in the work session. The budget was approved, we all approved it, and, you know, this is what it is for the year. If we need to go forward for next year, come up with ideas of doing it in a different way, we do it in a different way, but as of now, I don't understand the rush just because they asked for a civil service list because of the fact that we're short-staffed, that this is happening to them. And I just think that, you know, personally, it should stay as is and not impact the taxpayers as much as we can.
So why don't we say for 90 days or 120 days, we'll keep doing it, it could be extended or it could be figured out by
yes,
then.
that's, so that it gets started moving along.
So we'll say-
Otherwise, if you go till next year, nothing's gonna be get done till September or October.
So I
And
say
then we're gonna be
120
in the
No.
same
And
situation.
we're gonna schedule, like I said, the next two meetings, we'll schedule work sessions, and that will be brought up for at each meeting every 2 weeks, that'll be brought up for discussion as well.
Brandon, you know, you say it's all one pot, well, a lot of this came to blows because we did not want to approve a full-time librarian one to do adult programs. Because last year there was a part-time librarian one doing the programs, and they basically called people to come and do presentations. And they wanted to hire 2 new full-time employees, which would have cost us about $160,000 to $200,000 a year more. And so, they have a part-time librarian one who makes almost $28-30 an hour and did not put on one adult program for the year. I went to Sarah several times and said, Sarah, or twice, I said, Sarah, you have a librarian one, show us that you can do some adult programs and attract people, and we'll go from there. And I was told, it's not up to me to tell them what to do. So the only control we had at all was to hold their budget. And you say it's all out of the same pocket, but if costs get run away, it's out of the same pocket, but gets to be a deeper pocket.
I understand.
But that's,
I understand the importance of fiscal responsibility, but what I'm trying to say is that we've already discussed it, and we've already agreed, status quo for now.
And that's not actually how it happened with Sarah. She asked for two full-time employees. We denied her the two full-time employees, but she still was able to hire a part-time employee. So she asked for the list in order to get another part-time employee, and she was not getting that list.
No, that's not, no, not at all, that's not a correct statement. No.
And we did all vote
It's not.
no for the two
For the
full-time.
full-time.
They all voted no for the full time.
Yeah, part-time, it was requested and called for it, and the person is hired, the person's hired.
You two were yes.
Excuse me, you could please refrain, when we have an opportunity to speak, right now,
Glad.
we're having it, okay, thank you very much, I'm glad you are,
I am.
but please let us speak, you can refrain. Thank you. Like I said, and Brandon, not to put you on the spot, but you have the paperwork that'll show that.
I have it listed
Good,
now.
thank you. Okay. So I think with that being said,
Yeah.
I think we are gonna, with the abstract, we are going to have, we're gonna do a meeting tomorrow, quick. But I think for this abstract now, should we approve tonight what is here, and then tomorrow, the abstracts that were not approved, the vouchers that were not approved, and then have,
I agree with that.
for tomorrow? Do we have a full
Can we
meeting,
do
or
a
do we
second
have a
abstract?
does it have to be a meeting?
Well, you can do one of two things, you can either reject this abstract and ask them to do a whole new one with the other bills that exist, or you can approve this abstract and then ask them to do a new abstract with the bills for tomorrow. So this will be abstract 4, and then tomorrow you can do abstract
How
5.
would we approve them tomorrow?
You'd have to call a special meeting, you'd have to schedule a special meeting now for whatever time tomorrow.
You said it could be, virtual on the phone, it would be
You do have a law that you adopted that permits you to have a virtual
Okay.
meeting.
So why don't we have a virtual meeting?
I can set up the Zoom virtual meeting, we've just approved the new or revised abstract, depending which one you're deciding to go forward with.
I think accounting wise, wouldn't it be easier for the girls to just do a new one, a separate one?
I don't wanna speak on their behalf, Tyler, cause I don't know if they've already started entering vouchers for the next abstract already, so I don't wanna presume that I know what they have
Okay.
done.
Have the vouchers that have not been included in this particular abstract, have they been signed?
That I do not know either, because that would be handled by the accounting department upstairs.
Is that, we wanna make sure that we have enough time to get the signatures on the vouchers to the if they haven't already been signed.
I agree that
So
that's a valid
I'm kinda
point,
wondering
too.
if we need to,
That being said, I'm sure the library board has signed them,
okay.
because they don't come to you until the library board signs them, and if technically it's library board money anyway, we can approve them pending, we can approve that they be paid
Pending our signature.
pending the signature of the required two town board signatures, and then it's up to you guys to get it in signed. And then once it's signed, the checks can get mailed.
Okay.
Does that make sense to anybody?
Yes, that's better.
So you wanna set a time
So
for
we can
tomorrow?
have to set a time for
No,
tomorrow,
we
if that's
don't,
the case?
Then we don't,
doing it that way, we don't have to
just do
be
the sign.
again.
Well, you still have to approve the new abstract or a abstract.
Oh, and,
Because in order for the checks to be mailed, you have to approve the abstract.
whatever,
Um,
we do it Monday.
So Monday's a holiday,
It is a holiday.
Monday's a federal holiday. So, I think they can, I don't know how many we're talking to. Is there anybody? Jeffrey, do we have batteries? Is there anybody on the board who knows how many vouchers may be in
Never
question?
mind, I don't wanna talk about it.
And-
7.
Town board?
And the way that it was the Central Valley was taken off of all the vouchers, but the Highland Mills was put through.
Yeah, we said that, that's right.
So we
Yes, Central
think
Valley was not,
7.
Highland Mills was, yes. Town owned, Highland Mills Library was.
I'm
Central Valley
familiar
not,
that-
town owned was not, yes.
I'm familiar that there are vouchers, but I was told I was not able to sign them, so we'll just get those done, and, as long as this is gonna get done, we can approve the, so we don't have the late fees here, and then we can get the ones that were omitted in tomorrow. It's just a day behind, and as long as it gets done, as long as all the right ones are there.
So we think there's about 7 vouchers?
Roughly 7.
One was a voided check, and I think the other one was 6 vouchers. I think. Sarah has the executive.
I have,
And who has said vouchers? Are they here or are they with Sarah? Do we know that?
so all I know is that she took off the list, in abstract 4, page 4, Cablevision, Optimum, Central Valley was taken off.
Okay,
page
but that
7
can go
was
back
taken.
on. I'm sure she still has it somewhere, but
Yes.
who
So 1,
has,
2, 3.
who has the
I
voucher?
would assume you guys do, the town does.
The county department. Okay, so if the county department has the vouchers, then they can put them in first thing in the morning, I would assume. If they don't have the vouchers in their possession, if they were returned to Sarah, then if Sarah can get them to us first thing in the morning, just to verify, because I don't know their location.
Well, she sent them into the town.
Okay,
That's what she wrote on there. She said the bill was sent to town hall.
okay, so you've got three different things to consider. Either you approve the abstract as presented this evening, or not. Schedule a special meeting for what time you wanna have it tomorrow. And either at that one approve a revised abstract 4, or if you're approving abstract 4 as presented this evening, you approve an abstract 5 tomorrow. I believe that's where we're at with where we have this whole
I
discussion.
make a motion that we approve tonight's abstract.
You already have a motion and a second to approve the abstract. So we do have to vote on that, because that motion has been sitting out for the past almost hour. So we have Councilman Etzel made the motion, Supervisor Burke seconded to approve the abstract as presented.
Right, now we're in discussion, so we're gonna decide before we
You wanna
have a
vote on
vote. No, wait a minute, before we do that, sorry.
No worries.
We should decide tomorrow the time to come and have it signed, correct?
12:30 work for everybody?
I can't, I'm in a meeting.
I'm at work, man, you know, I'm still with the DPW.
Lunch for me. I'll do it on my lunch hour because it wasn't done tonight.
I can go come in, you know, through Zoom or something like that, you know.
We need 3.
We need 3, so Tyler, myself, Tyler, and Tim, 12:30,
12:30.
and it's done.
So you need a,
So now we'll do, go ahead.
well, can we finish one motion
Yeah.
first before we make a second motion, is that okay?
The reason why I
Right.
didn't wanna finish the
Sure.
first one was because I wanted to make sure everybody knew that we were gonna.
I'm
do
just
it.
asking your
Right,
permission if
what I
that's
mean.
okay,
That's what I
that's
mean,
all.
but that's,
Right.
it's not permission, I just wanna make that clear.
Okay, so we have a motion on the table currently to approve the abstract as presented. Can we have a vote on that? And then we'll vote to schedule a special meeting to approve an abstract 5, unless this vote fails, then it would be to approve the revised abstract 4.
Okay, and do we have a motion and a second, so,
So we have a motion and a second, I'll do a roll call.
You do have a motion in a second for the,
Yeah.
for the.
all, so we can just say, all,
Okay.
All in
in
favor?
favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Okay, and now,
Was that all 5 of you?
yes.
Thank you.
and now we need a motion and a second for,
To schedule a special meeting.
so I need a motion and a second to schedule a special meeting
Make a motion.
tomorrow,
I'll second it.
okay?
Alright, so that was Councilman Finnegan and Councilman McClory.
Yeah.
We're interchangeable.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Well, I'm trying to get it right this time.
All in favor?
So that's tomorrow
Aye.
Aye.
at 12:30? And were we doing that only virtually, or we're gonna do that in person?
In person.
In person?
Yeah, you said you only needed 3, so. I guess
Just
it's-
wanna make sure, okay. And, we'll let the accounting department know to put together those vouchers for.
Attorney McKay, you'll be here at 12:30, right?
AM or PM?
Alright, so we ready to
Good.
move forward? We're gonna move on now to modifications to the 2022 budget. Desiree, could you read that, please?
I sure can. There are 2 for the 2022 budget, tax collector increasing A1330.411, office supplies and equipment by $143.49, and decreasing A1330.412 postage by I'm sorry, did I say 1,004? I meant $143.49. Apologies for that. And for the library, by increasing L7410.406, heating, oil, and gas by $50, and decreasing L7410.402, electricity by $50.
Alright, can I have a motion and a second to approve the modifications as read?
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I gotta abstain from that, Des.
Aye.
Alright, now modifications to the 23 budget, Desiree?
Okay, 2023 budget, there are 3. The First, to buildings and grounds by increasing A 1620.475, which is a correction from the one that you have in front of you. Animal shelter repairs by $1,600, A 1620.478. Justice court repairs by $5,000, A 1620.473. Senior center repairs by $1,000, A 1620.493. Historical library repairs by $700, A 1620.473. Police department repairs by $2,500, and decreasing A 1620.462. Repairs materials by $10,800. For the police department, increasing B 3120.488. Canine grant dog by $993. When you do that, it's flicking the light in my eye. Thank you, sorry. It's okay. It's, I keep getting a light.
No worries, sorry.
Thank you, I appreciate that. B 5031, interfund transfer by $993, SMB 0599, appropriate fund balance by $993, and increasing SMB 9901.900, interfund transfer by $933. And buildings and grounds, increasing B 599, appropriate fund balance by $51,140, and increasing A 1620.468, justice court renovations by $51,140. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it.
Alright, so just so you guys, everyone's aware, the first one for the buildings and grounds is to separate one line item into 5 specific line items. The one for the police is to allocate funds for the vet fees for the new K-9 officer we'll be hiring. And for the buildings and grounds, the second one is for fabrication of the egress stairs at the courthouse. That was allocated in '22, but being paid for this year in '23. So can I have a motion and a second to approve the modifications as read?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And I have an extra item, and that is for the part-time police officer, Hudson, Cecil Hudson. We're hiring him as a part-time officer. Can I have a motion second to appoint Cecil Hudson as part-time police officer at an hourly rate of $35.38 and a start date of March 1st, 2023?
Motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Department reports, the supervisor's report, Desiree, please.
Supervisor's report for January 2023 has receipts totaling $9,067,319.54, and disbursements totaling $1,099,908.19.
All right, can I have a motion and a second to approve the report as read?
Motion.
Okay. Tyler. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. I am in receipt of the town clerk's report for January 23, the animal control report, the police communication report, buildings and grounds report, Parks and Recreation Committee report minutes, there are none received for the month of January. Police Commission's meeting, no January meeting held. Library Director's report, January 23, Library Board minutes, January 12th and 24th, 23, Beautification Committee meeting, January 5th, and the budget versus actual for January 23. Thank you for that. Now we'll move on to public comment. Does anybody?
Mr. Supervisor, before you go to public comment,
Sure.
just like how I hate to interject myself in town board meetings, but I have to. Before we were discussing meeting again with the library board, so my question is whether the board would be adopting a resolution tonight to schedule public meetings with the library board, or whether those meetings would be with less than a quorum of the boards.
This is previous. 2 weeks ago, we had the meeting was a work session. So I'll schedule. My plan is to schedule work sessions for the public.
So we have to schedule it now.
So we have to schedule it for both. We have the meeting the first and the
March
March.
2nd and March 16th.
okay. Thank you.
And what time?
5. We did last one, 5.
Do we want 5 o'clock?
I think that's what we did last time, right? 5.
Yeah.
You want to check before we say your schedule?
Oh, I know I'm not available. That was a joke.
I smile. We should probably, what about are we gonna throw out a couple of dates and then the library
I'm
board
gonna
gets
throw
back to
out.
us,
I'm gonna
or?
throw out both
Okay.
both weeks, both meeting dates.
On the regular meeting dates, I'm available.
Okay. So, Do we need to, do a motion in a second, or just,
But we just don't know whether the library board and
Well,
their
we schedule the meetings and
we'll
they
schedule
can-
them?
Okay, that's, yeah, sure.
Yeah, we can always amend it at the next meeting if they
Well,
can't make
the
it the
next
next
meeting,
meeting.
just doesn't have, whatever you decide.
We'll, like I said, put it out there and then we'll get it back.
Okay.
So it'll be for 5 p.m., March 2nd and 16th.
I have one more question. There's a discussion about whether there would be some maintenance of the status quo for 30, 60, 90 days. I'm reluctant to make that a long period of time. I think we should meet with the library board and start moving towards a resolution of some of these issues. But there was a lot of discussion about whether we should, at least with respect to bills and some other items, at least for the next 60 days, maintain the status quo as far as deposits and payments. And we got off on discussions, so I'm just asking the board if we're gonna make a determination on that issue tonight, so we all know what's happening over the next 60 days or so.
Well, is that just deposits and, I keep shutting off, I'm sorry. Is that just deposits and bills, or that's deposits,
That's it.
bills, insurance,
Everything,
maintenance,
status quo,
status
everything.
quo, 60
Everything.
days,
Everything.
everything. I can agree with that it should be a middle of the road number and not a prolonged time frame.
As I said before, there are a lot of issues that I really wanna try to resolve. If it's gonna be this kind of global, everything stays the way it is, I really can't recommend to the board that they do that for more than 60 days, because we need to resolve these issues with the library board.
I'm fine with 60.
Okay,
Mm.
motion.
Are we making a motion on the status quo 60 days, or making a motion on the work session with the library board scheduling?
Both.
Okay, as one motion or separate?
Probably separate, right?
Okay,
So
just
it's
wanna make
just-
sure I got it correct.
Can I just say, so it's just status quo while we discuss
60
the
days.
options, so 60-day status quo, leave it like that, if we decide to go further, we go further.
And I think, and I would hope that during the 60 days, we have a plan with respect to at least some of the items. And just hold the others, in abeyance for that 60-day period.
Okay. So we need a motion.
Which one you wanna do first?
Meeting.
We need
I'll make a motion.
for the 2nd and the 16th. Okay.
I'll second that.
All right.
Alright. All in favor?
Aye.
And the next one is, when you're ready.
All right.
Okay, 60 days?
60
Yeah.
Status quo.
Status quo, yeah.
I'll make a motion that we get new batteries for these mics.
Jeffrey, do we not have batteries?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, cause Councilman Finnegan keeps going down also.
I'll make a motion.
Alright, I'll second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Attorney McKay,
Anything else?
anything you got?
No.
We'll wait for your comments. Public comment. Anybody with public comment? Alright, I'll move on to, department comments, and board members, Marie,
Do I have anything to report? We're good.
you
No
good?
comments. Got it. I'm tired.
Just real quick, we were talking about the legal stuff. I received a call from the Comptroller's Council in January. His name is Eric Eichenbaum.
Excuse me, could you please state your name?
Oh, Kathy Schmidt, I'm the president of the Woodbury Public Library Board of Trustees. So I received a call from the Comptroller's Council, he's the Council for Municipal Law and Finance. And he read everything provided to him that I provided to the comptroller, municipal relationships for trustees, library staff, financial, all Dan Pettigrew's letters, all Mr. McKay's letters, and he said in no uncertain terms, the library's information is their information, period. He read it all. What he did say is that from here on out, he had a Zoom call or video conference, at the direction of the comptroller. None of us can call, but Mr. McKay, you're allowed to call and ask a question for clarification. He can respond to lawyers, but not the general public because they get audited. So if you have a question for him, his name is Eric Eichenlaw in Albany.
Do you have the phone number?
I have his name and his thing. The senior attorney is the one who set up the Zoom call, but I can email you his name, title, everything. Yes, he's
Please.
not, when you go look up his number online, there's a bunch of X's, because I don't think he actually takes direct phone calls from the public. But you will be able to get through your attorney. That's what he said.
Okay, if you could send me that information,
I will.
I appreciate it.
And then May 23rd, Councilman Luciani, Mr. Finnegan, you both said yes to the full-time employees. If I'm right. And we approve.
Okay, anyone else?
Go ahead, Joe.
My issue is, Central Valley Library is a union issue right now. It's a union issue. So either we have to talk to the union delegate, but as of right now, the guys are not gonna go to Central Valley as per their union. So that's something we have to straighten out. So just so you know, I know you said status quo, but that's the little glitch in it. So you could either talk to the shop steward, talk to Maxine, get the union involved, but that's what their directive was. So just let you know that for now. I'm sure you can straighten it out. Other thing, just let you know, all the playground equipment came in for Brickley Field that we're getting that grant for. So it's all up at the reservoir right now. Hopefully in the near future, we'll get it all taken care of and take the old one out, put the new one in. So it's all here. Right now we're doing Judge Hassan's office over. So if anybody goes by and wants to see it, it's looking really good. Tomorrow, Monday, we get the floor put down and we'll get all furniture back and stuff. So the library / senior center entranceway is all done. So again, if everybody goes by, you can see that. I did care really nice. And we're draining the reservoir down a little bit faster now, because we gotta get it down. What?
Again?
Well, it didn't drain because all the rain came, but now we're gonna drain it down. Because we need to get it down so we can, make the reservoir a little steeper so when the guy comes to do all the weeds and stuff, he can't get his machine off, so we gotta get it a little deeper, so that'll be getting done. Unless anybody has anything, that's all I got.
Thanks, Joe. Excuse me, before we go, I'm sorry, you had, before you sat down, you had said that, announced that
Just let me know.
Councilman Finnegan
Yeah, it's
and
very slow.
Councilperson Luciani had voted yes to the full-time employee last year
One of them.
Make sure.
for one. They did.
I don't recall asking for two.
No, but they did vote yes, but we also, we were waiting to, when the library assistant retired in December 21, we were waiting for the library assistant, to be called for. It never was. That would have been approved for library assistant part-time. When the library one assistant, list was asked to be called, it was called for, and then it was returned by the library. Oh, yeah, sure, but let me just finish what I'm saying, and then I'll let you speak. And then, when it was returned back, it was then later, requested that it be called again, for the library one assistant, and there was no additional names added to the list, so it was held off by the library director. Then it was, asked for the library list full-time, and at that time, you're right, it was voted two to have a full-time employee and two not to hire a full-time. Shortly then after, for that, we asked, there was a call for, a request from myself to call, my office to call for, a clerk, part-time. That list was called for, and that person was hired and is employed by the library at this time. So there were lists that were requested to be called for that were, and there were hires that were done by the four of us. Yes. So when you just made that statement that there was two that voted for a full-timer and two that obviously didn't, but there was more to that, to 2022 than just that.
Just
Thank you.
as an FYI, the library does not require a vote from the town board to say who they could or can't hire. That is a clarification that has now come up. So we never needed your approval, which is why we're here, because you dug your heels in.
So thank you for that clarification,
You're welcome.
for saying that. I appreciate that too. Good, thank you. All right, anyone else? Okay, Attorney McKay, anything else this evening?
No comments.
Okay, Councilman Clark.
Alrighty. Just wanted to thank the Woodbury Communities Association for a very good time past Saturday. They had their heart dance. Any excuse I get to have to get a babysitter and get dressed up and go out with my beautiful wife is a good reason for any. So they did a great job. Falkirk was amazing. The food was great. DJ was good, and it's hard time remembering last time I had good time like that. So it was nice. It was a nice night of adulting. So just want to thank the Community Association of that. That's all I got.
Okay, Councilman Finley. No comment? Okay, Councilperson Luciano.
I just wanna bring up, I wanna thank, the people that came out to the Race Across America to do the cleanup in the cemetery. It was 6 degrees that day, so there wasn't many people. We had, some of the Boy Scouts and their leaders. John Kellman came to help us, and he brought his truck. Brandon, Councilman Clory, he came on his birthday with his truck. We all jumped in and out of the trucks trying to keep our fingers from freezing, but, it was a great way to, give back to the community. Lisa is still, trying to raise money for the following year coming for the Race Across America. So let's all just, put in buy one, get one free right now. And this way we can continue this tradition of honoring our veterans that have gone past. So, and that's all I have to say.
No comment.
All right, I just have, I'm sorry, thank you. Clark? Okay. So I have a few final comments. First, Monday, is a holiday, so it's the, President's Day. County Waste is not closed February 20th, this Monday, so there'll be regular refuse pickup on Tuesday, the 21st, for Woodbury residents west of 32. All homes recycling on Wednesday, the 22nd. And the regular refuse pickup on Friday, the 24th, for Harriman homes and Woodbury residents east of 32. And it's a reminder on Monday, town hall offices and all town offices will be closed. We have been working beginning of the year. So we've been following up with our 2023 for our investing with New York class. We have been talking about this, and we've been finishing up the required paperwork for both the Webster Bank and New York class. We're gonna have activity between Webster and class, establishing and creating the features with New York class that will provide the most effective environment for our needs. Webster advised they are paying 2.21% for $1 million plus money market account. We gave them an email saying that asking them to do better, and they came back with 3.4. And we also decided to invest with Lakeland, and they're paying at 3.375. So our money is working for us this year, and we're hoping for continue with New York class. We're writing checks with them, and I want to thank Councilman Edsel, who does a great job with us with this. He comes in almost all the time to work with it. So thank you. And that's what we have. So with that being said, I want to wish everybody a great night. I'd like to take a motion and a second to adjourn. Okay, second. All right, everyone, thank you.